Resuming debate, the honourable member for Fredericton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's certainly a pleasure to rise this morning to speak to an issue of great importance for the riding of Fredericton, for New Brunswick, and certainly for all of Canada. Mr. Speaker, Canada is both diverse and inclusive. These characteristics are wound into our identity. In fact, Canadians' respect for our diversity of those neighbours in our community and our tendency to include others who may not resemble us in appearance or in mind is a hallmark of what is the very best of Canada. The government has and continues to demonstrate through its actions that it will ensure that what it does reflects this type of country, the very best of what we have to offer and the very best of what we can be. Legislation to amend the Citizenship Act that was introduced in this House last month, Mr. Speaker, lays out changes that will provide greater respect for diversity and inclusion, as well as flexibility for those who seek to contribute to our country, to those who are trying to meet the requirements of citizenship. It will help immigrants obtain citizenship faster and help them contribute more fruitfully to our communities and help us build a stronger socioeconomic fabric in Canada. Proposed changes in Bill C-6 would also reveal provisions of the Citizenship Act that allow citizenship, the prime tenet and characteristic of what it means to be Canadian, to be revoked from dual citizens who engage in certain acts against the national interest. These provisions will ensure there is only one class of Canadian, Mr. Speaker. Additional changes that are also proposed will further enhance program integrity and ensure that our immigration system reflects the fact that we are an accepting, welcoming, and caring nation. Mr. Speaker, Fredericton is home to over 6,300 immigrants who have arrived from over 60 countries. Of the over 600 permanent residents in Fredericton in 2012 alone, over 40% were opening new businesses and contributing to the local and regional economy. Immigrants invest their own money, they buy existing businesses, they start new businesses, and they hire professionals and employees to be successful. Other immigrants in the Fredericton region are specialized professionals needed in specific industries, or they're international students who have come to our community and have decided to make New Brunswick their home. Mr. Speaker, newcomers contribute so much to our communities. C'est pour ça, Monsieur le Président, que le gouvernement encourage tous les immigrants à s'engager sur la voie d'adhésion complète et de l'appartenance permanente à la société canadienne. On sait bien que l'un des piliers les plus solides pour une intégration réussie dans la vie au Canada est l'obtention de citoyenneté canadienne. Avec l'introduction du projet de loi C-6, le gouvernement envisage d'aider les immigrants à devenir citoyens plus rapidement en réduisant d'1 an la période durant laquelle les résidents permanents doivent être effectivement présents au Canada avant d'être admissibles à la citoyenneté. La modification proposée réduirait l'exigence relative à la présence effective à 3 ans des années comprises dans les 5 ans précédant la date de la demande, comparativement à l'exigence actuelle qui est de 4 ans sur 6. Le gouvernement propose aussi, Monsieur le Président, d'abroger l'exigence supplémentaire relative à la présence effective selon laquelle les demandeurs de la citoyenneté doivent être présents au Canada pendant 183 jours par année au cours de 4 des années comprises dans les 6 ans précédant la présentation d'une demande. Le fait de conserver cette exigence ne permettrait pas aux demandeurs de bénéficier pleinement de la durée plus courte de présence effective ou du nouveau crédit en temps accordé pour la période écoulée avant l'obtention de la résidence permanente. Because of changes made by the previous government, Mr. Speaker, since last June, adult applicants must declare on their citizenship applications that they intend to continue to reside in Canada if granted citizenship. This provision has created great concern among some new Canadians, including those in the riding of Fredericton, who feared their citizenship could be revoked in the future if they moved outside of Canada, even for a short period of time. This is just one example of the mean-spirited approach towards newcomers that people in Fredericton and across this country gleaned through the previous government's imposition of their changes to the Citizenship Act. The current government, Mr. Speaker, is proposing to repeal this provision as well as other provisions. Mr. Speaker, all Canadians are free to move throughout and outside of Canada. This is a right guaranteed through our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Recognizing that immigrants as well often begin building an attachment to Canada before becoming permanent residents, Bill C-6 proposes to provide applicants with credit for the time they were legally in Canada before becoming permanent residents. This change will help attract international students and experienced workers to Canada. Currently, Mr. Speaker, due to changes made by the previous government, changes that for the life of me I simply cannot understand, people cannot count time they spent in Canada before becoming a permanent resident towards meeting the physical presence requirement for citizenship. Again, the changes in this new bill would let non-permanent resident time count towards the new 3-year physical presence requirement for citizenship for up to 1 year. Under this change, each day that a person is authorized to be in Canada as a temporary resident or as a protected person before they become a permanent resident, it could be counted towards a half day towards meeting the requirement for citizenship. Mr. Speaker, in the riding I have the honor to represent, the riding of Fredericton, we boast of 2 world-class universities who have a stellar history and reputation of recruiting high-caliber students to our community. The University of New Brunswick, Canada's most entrepreneurial university, and St. Thomas University, a leader in liberal arts, recruit prodigious persons from around the world each year. These students come to Fredericton, to New Brunswick, they study hard, they get active on campus, and quite frankly, they engage with the broader community. With so much to offer, Mr. Speaker, and in a province with an age demographic that demands we do everything possible so that these students can continue to contribute to our socioeconomic wealth, why would we not do everything we can to keep these members in our community, ease their pathway to citizenship, and build a stronger Fredericton, a brighter New Brunswick, and a better Canada? Mr. Speaker, the changes introduced in Bill C-6 that I have just spoken about support the government's goal of making it easier for immigrants to build successful lives in Canada, something that is good for all Canadians. Dernièrement, Monsieur le Président, les modifications proposées dans le projet de loi C-6 auraient pour effet d'abroger dans leur intégralité les dispositions de la loi sur la citoyenneté permettant de révoquer la citoyenneté aux citoyens qui ont une double nationalité et qui se livrent à certains actes contre l'intérêt national. Ces motifs de révocation ne s'appliquent qu'aux personnes ayant la double citoyenneté ou la citoyenneté multiple. Des modifications législatives entrées en vigueur par le gouvernement ancien en mai 2015 ont donné lieu à la création de nouveaux motifs de révocation de la citoyenneté au titre desquels il est possible de révoquer la citoyenneté des personnes ayant une double citoyenneté si elles ont commis des actes allant à l'encontre de l'intérêt national du Canada. Le projet de loi C-6 abroge ces nouveaux motifs. Monsieur le Président, c'est clair. Tous les Canadiens qui commettent des crimes devraient faire face aux conséquences de leurs actes par l'intermédiaire du système de justice canadien. Mr. Speaker, I began by talking about the diversity and inclusive nature of Canada. This characteristic and defining feature of our country has been on full display over the past several months as tens of thousands of Syrian refugees have been welcomed into our communities right across the country. Please let me acknowledge once again the tremendous effort of people in Fredericton and right across New Brunswick who have punched well above their weight in accepting more refugees per capita than any other region of this country. And they deserve that round of applause, Mr. Speaker. We know that accepting and providing opportunity for newcomers has always been in our best interest as a country. And Mr. Speaker, it is in this spirit, through the intentions of this bill, that we will build that stronger Fredericton, that brighter New Brunswick, and quite frankly, that better Canada. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Bravo.